Next up, we are going to do the camera project. So this is number 3, camera. So we're basically just going to follow everything in here. We are going to say new project, empty activity. I'm going to say it is DJI FPV Kotlin. But we're going to turn this to FPV. And you can change com.res to anything you want. It's 21, Kotlin. Okay, hit finish. Let's just move on right over here. So then after that, what we're going to do is going to replace the build.gradle files again, the ones, the project and the module. We are going to add the jettifier into our Gradle.properties file, and then we are going to change everything in the settings.gradle to the following. As we go along, there's going to be quite a few errors that you'll see, but when you get to the end, they should all disappear. What is it going to look like? Just show you real quick. So basically the app is this. We have a portrait and a landscape page. And then the portrait page is just connecting, in this case it's connecting to a Mavic Mini, and then on this side what we can see is the little functionality when it's connected to the camera. So it's going to switch camera mode, it's going to record, it's going to take a picture, and it also has different shoot video and photo modes in there too as well, but you get the general idea. Obviously something that you really need to do when you're any of the apps that you're creating for what we're trying to do for any drone app. So the code above, so this is the UI element. So we create the layout UI elements, texture view, 3 buttons. You saw the 3 buttons that were there for record videos, 1 toggle button for record video, and a text view recording time. So the texture view is where the camera is itself. We create a video data listener. And the video data listener will be able to receive, I spelled that wrong, video data from a connected DJI product, and the DJI codec manager will be used to decode the received video data. We fix that for the next go around. In the onCreate function, we invoke the initUI method to initialize the UI variables, then initialize receive video data listener, assign codec manager to decode the video, get an instance of the camera from the DJI product, and by accessing its set system state callback, have it display the elapsed recording time and the recording time text view. So it's like a full-blown video app here. Okay. And then a little bit more in the init UI, we implement a set on-click listener method for all the buttons. Standard Android functionality. In the activities on resume, we invoke the init previewer function, which adds the receive video data listener. So if you go off focus and come back again, it's going to start up. On the surface texture available function, we have the codec manager. That's what goes on where we're actually seeing where the camera is. And then we override the onClip method to implement the click actions of the buttons. Capture button invokes capture action, which tells the DJI product's camera to take a single photo. Shoot photo mode button invokes the switch camera mode, which tells the DJI product's camera to set itself to photo mode, and then the other one is record video mode, so then it's switching to video mode. Okay, let me get off this then. Alright, so I always go to project when I start changing the different build.gradle files, so we can see which one is which. So we have one here, one here. So the first one we're going to do, go all the way back up. This is the build.gradle project file, so it's top level. We have our other build.gradle. We're going to change the target SDK version back to 30. Make sure we have dependencies for all of our DJI libraries, etc. sync that. Well, actually, don't sync it yet because it's going to fail. Then within our Gradle.properties file, we have to add the enable jetifier, which means that it tells it to, I think it actually says it there. No, we did it in the earlier version. Let me just go check real quick. Get the actual terminology correct here. So this Android plugin automatically migrates existing third-party libraries to use Android X by rewriting their binaries. If you don't put that in, it's not going to work. There is something else in the settings.gradle file we have to change this to as well. So we can change everything on it. Get rid of everything. Now we can sync, and hopefully we're okay. It's going to take a couple of seconds, maybe a minute to do this. Okay, so while it's doing that, let's look to see what we have to do. So we have to add a new M application because we have the application level. We have a main activity class. And then we have and in that, basically what it's doing, we did talk about it, it's basically setting up the get camera instance. It's also got its own layouts. We have a layout activity main, which we're going to have to change. It's going to initialize the UI, so all the different things, record button, everything else. Start, record, stop, record. So basically everything's happening in our main activity. On surface texture changed. So when the video's changed, it's going to update it, switch camera mode from camera to photo, from video to photo, excuse me. And then is everything connected? Okay, hopefully it's done by now. Yep, great. So let's go back to where we were. Okay, so mapplication.kt is next. Is that correct? Yes. You noticed I've gone back to Android now because well, it did it automatically, but it's just easier now we're out of the different files. We don't want a Java class, we want a Kotlin class. Oops. Excuse me. Third time's the charm. Okay, and we're just going to replace the content with what's in the README. Here we override the attach base context method to invoke the install method of helper class to load the SDK classes before using any SDK function. Failing to do so will result in unexpected crashes. Okay, so a lot we're going to add now to main activity. So this is really the second page. I'm sure it's going to complain about some things here. Okay, yep. Alright, what's going on? Let's make sure that we have our layout layout correctly. So if we go to activity main, we're using a relative layout instead of a linear layout or any of the more complicated ones. It's the different buttons we have here. So if we go to resources, layout, activity main, go to code. Okay, next, implementing the connection activity class. So same again, we're going to create a new Kotlin class file, and in here This is what we did in the registration, so it's all requesting the permissions, making sure the SDK is okay. It does actually have the init UI, the activities UI, a couple of observers to see if, make sure that we're connected. Okay, so let's copy that real quick. Okay, we need a connection view model class too as well. So in the code above, we have create the layout UI elements, link the activity to a view model that stores the connection state. In the observers method, we are observing changes to the view model. And then we need a activity connection.xml file. So go back here, make sure I get the name right, excuse me. Activity connection.xml. Let's go to code, replace everything. So this is the first page, so the one that you get when it opens up. It's a portrait page. You'll see in here there's a bunch of strings that we don't have. We need to add those to the strings.xml. We also have some drawables that are not there, some colors that are not there. And make sure that we have those too as well. We're going to do we're going to do the connection view model file. Oops. So here we implement several features. The variable product is used to store an instance of the currently connected DJI product. The variable connection status describes whether or not a DJI product is connected. The app is registered with the DJI SDK. For methods SDK callback are used. To check the application registration status and show text message here when the product is connected or disconnected, on product connect and on product disconnect methods will be invoked. Moreover, we use the on component change method to check the component changes. Okay, copy this. This is called connection view model KT. We need some resources. So if we go to our app res drawable, we are going to have a copy all the image XML files from the GitHub projects folder to app res drawable. So app res drawable. Again, I want to do this as project because there was kind of a weird thing going on here. It's drawable v24, it's where you want to put them in. Okay, so within here I am going to say new drawable resource file. I am going to call this round-button.xml. Button.xml. Okay, and replace it with this code. Okay, and then we need another one, which is round button disable. Next is round button normal. And I'm just getting these values from the GitHub repo. Last but not least, we have round button pressed. Okay. What's next? Moreover, open the colors file and update the colors as shown. So where are we going to find the colors file? Values. Open the strings file and add the following. Lastly, create the styles.xml and replace the content with the following. Okay, after you finish the above steps, let's register our application with the app key from the developer website. So basically you have to go over and make sure that you have your, whatever the name of the app is. In this case it's com.reese.fpv and that it's all set up. We're going to put that in the Android manifest. We're going to add the M application inside of the application. This is all stuff that we've done before in the registration app. We'll add the following elements as childs of the application element. On top of the activity. So here we're adding the USB. Gotta make sure I add that before I forget it. FPV connection activity, that's the one that gets launched, and then we also have a main activity. And this is landscape, and the other one is portrait. Okay. Oops. Almost done. Go back into our Android view. Let's look at the manifests. Here's my manifest. Okay, saying the connectivity is portrait, screen orientation, the other one is landscape. We also need to go to create an accessory filter. We did this before too as well, but it won't work otherwise. This is to make sure that our USBs launch. And within that we're going to have this. Okay. Let's see if we can build it. Okay, if it runs on your phone, basically what you're going to have is this DJI FPV Kotlin. Then you're going to have this screen which is what I showed earlier. The different versions are, this is when it's disconnected, this is when it's connected, this is the normal, this is switching camera mode, this is capturing photo. If the video recording is started, the video recording is progressed, and the video recording is stopped. And then that's actually for the next one, I need to change that. So this is the camera one, which we're going to use in the Media Manager, which we'll use to preview photos, play videos, download or delete files. So that's actually what we're going to do next, but of course we can't do that unless we know how to use our camera. Okay, hopefully it's still working. Let's see if it's building. And obviously I can't run this in the emulator because we're not connected to a Mavic Mini. But it should be okay after that. Looking good. None of this is using the new Android 5.0 SDK. We're going to have to approach that at a later date. But if you're still using some of the older drones, all the way up to the M300, you can still use the Android 4.16. But if you want to use on the M30 or the Mavic 3 Enterprise, the new Mavic 3 Enterprise, then you would have to use the Android 5.0. But for the moment, this will work for most of the drones. Okay, and we're done. Thank you very much.